Trying.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming out today. Today is the meeting of the Dare County Board of Elections, and today is our day of canvass where we certify the election. We also have several hearings that we'll be doing today over situations that happened in the precincts during voting and before the regular election day. The first thing I'd like to do is call on the meeting to order and ask everyone to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Did you all have a chance to see the minutes? We've been running high speed.
Yeah.
John, you had a chance to see those? Okay. We have the minutes. We've reviewed the minutes from our meeting yesterday. And that was our supplemental provisional ballot review. I think we reviewed something like 198 ballots yesterday. Don't quote me on that, but that's coming off the top of my head. I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes, please, from yesterday, from November 14th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from November 14th.
All right. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from our supplemental provisional ballot meeting yesterday, November 14th. Is there any other discussion or corrections or additions to the minutes? Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. All right. The minutes are approved. All right. The first item of business today are the hearings that the challenge hearings, and this is something that the Board of Elections is challenging ballots that don't fit the requirements for being able to carry a vote. And I'm going to turn this over to our director, Kelly McPherson, for our first step in this process.
Okay, so there are 7 absentee or early voting ballot challenges that the board will hear today. Do you want me to list them all first, and then we start with the first one?
I think what we should do is, out of deference to the folks who came out, just let them know that there are 7 of these that we'll do, and how quickly we move through them will be dependent on who's here and what they have to say. We'll follow form and let everyone say whatever they have to say.
So list all 7 of them now, or just begin with one?
Let's just start.
Okay, so the first challenge that we will hear is James Elson Myers. The reason would be already voted at the early voting Kill Devil Hills Town Hall. And so before I present, if you want to put me under oath.
Yes.
If you repeat after me. 4. I swear that the evidence that I shall give shall be truthful, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. I solemnly swear that the evidence is true.
I do. Okay. There was a challenge entered on November 12th by Chair Saunders. After receiving notice from the State Board of Elections, it was found that Mr. Myers had already voted when he presented to vote on Election Day, November 5th, 2024. Mr. Myers denied to the Chief Judge of the Kill Devil Hills early voting site that he had already voted. The option to vote provisionally was offered, which was also denied by Mr. Myers. Mr. Myers began the provisional process, became agitated, tore up the provisional ballot and envelope, and left the precinct. He returned some time later and expressed to the Chief Judge that he believed his son, also named James Elson Myers, also living at the same address, had come to vote during early voting and was issued and signed Mr. Myers, the father's ATV. Mr. Myers was informed by the Chief Judge that the incident would have to be reported to the BOE. After research by myself, It is the BOE's belief that the younger Mr. Myers, whose registration had been previously removed on 11/21/22, was not registered and should have voted either same day or provisionally. Instead, he signed his father's ATV and voted a regular ballot. I called Mr. Myers on 11/12/24 and spoke with him regarding the incident. He verbally confirmed he did not vote in the 11/5/2024 general election on that day. I apologize. The day of early voting, October 28, 2024. He was concerned his son would get in trouble and upset that his right to vote was taken from him. Mr. Myers stated he did not wish to pursue the matter further. Mr. Myers was asked by me to attend the meeting or to submit a statement in writing. Notice of the absentee ballot challenge was mailed on November 12th. And then we also have since then received a signed and notarized letter by Mr. Myers submitted today with a statement, and I could read that if I may. The statement says, I, James Elson Myers, date of birth 1/11/77 of 1704 Apache Street, Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, did not present to vote at the Kill Devil Hills Town Hall on Monday, October 28th. Furthermore, I did not exercise my right to vote a provisional ballot due to the language used in the affidavit to vote. And he signed that, and that is also notarized. So at this time, I suppose you could ask the public, or if there's anyone else here who would wish to make a statement.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that would be appropriate. Is there anyone here who would like to make a statement, make any statement with regards to the evidence that we have forward? And I do want to say something here that I'm compelled to say. This is from me personally, that we are a quasi judiciary board. We're not in the business of having people locked up or anything like that. This is we take every vote very seriously, and we just have to follow form on what actually happened, especially if where the result is that they weren't able to vote. The spirit of North Carolina law is that we want to try to find ways that people are able to have their vote. So just wanted to mention that, okay? Is there anyone who wants to make a statement? Yes, Ms. Markland. So we will swear you in.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I am the chief judge for both early voting and election day at the Kill Devil Hills site.
And I just want to mention that this is Sandy Markland. This is her name. That's all. I just want everyone to know who you are. That's all right.
The statement that the gentleman gave is in fact true, but I would add a couple of things. In fairness to my staff, at every check-in, they do have a script that they read to every voter, asking them to review the ATV to ensure that it is in fact them and that their information is correct. So whoever voted that ballot either did not read it or read it and signed it anyway. There are never any exceptions to that script for this very reason. When the gentleman reported to vote and was given the option of voting a provisional, it is as he stated. He became agitated and he tore it up because he was, I think, ultimately concerned for his son and what would happen if his son is in fact the individual who voted the ballot. He did come back and apologize. He did say that he understood and appreciated why this was taken so seriously, and we left under good terms. He was offered another provisional to vote with the statement that if in fact the ballot voted at early voting was discarded, his provisional would be considered, but he refused that opportunity. So he really was not denied the opportunity to vote, he refused it.
All right. Does anyone on the board have any questions for Ms. Markland?
Do you want to give Mr. Myers an opportunity? Do you want to ask if there's anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak?
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
is there anyone else who has anything to say in regards to this? Okay, all right.
The ATF,
Ellison, could you come up to the mic, please?
Mr. Myers, may we swear you in before you get started?
Thank you.
Do you swear that the evidence that you shall give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Or do you solemnly affirm that the evidence that you shall give to be the
If
truth,
there
the
are no
whole
more
truth?
questions, then we just move to a vote, I guess, whether
And
it's
if you'll stand
sustained.
up to the podium, thank you.
James Myers. And what the lady said is true, and it says it in my statement clearly. I did not exercise my right to provisional vote. And there was one reason for that. Upon rereading the affidavit to vote, the boxes checked. One of them that was checked said, I acknowledge it is a felony to vote twice, attempt to vote twice, as it should be. Then the reason for provisional ballot, and it was in all capitals and bold, has already voted. I'm not signing that. I'm not signing that. Try to look at it from my standpoint, showing up in good faith to exercise my right on election day. Polls open at 6:30, I was the 12th person in the building. That's how much voting meant to me. I understand that the staff gave my ATV to the wrong person. And that person probably didn't read through it as thoroughly as they should have, whoever that person was. And she is correct, and it says it in my statement. So let's be clear, nowhere in here have I accused anyone of denying me my right to vote. I clearly stated under oath and notarized that I chose not to exercise my right, not out of anger, but because of that ATV. Now, had it said on that ATV that there is a misunderstanding or poll staff gave the ATV to the wrong person, but it clearly stated, and I did tear it up because I had already signed it. So I didn't want that. It clearly stated, the box was checked. I acknowledge it is a felony to vote twice, and it should be. It should be. And I'm happy to hear that there are the fail-safes with voters being kicked out if they vote in another county. You know, I'm happy to hear that there are these things to stop from. But the box said, I acknowledge it's a felony to vote twice. And then the reason for provisional in all caps and bold was has already voted. So I was not going to sign that. And I think anybody can understand it, especially sitting there with a room full of strangers looking at me. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for speaking up. Mr. Myers, I wanted to ask the board if there's anybody had a question. Do you all have any questions for him? Anybody need clarification or anything like
No.
that? Okay,
I think it's clear.
thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you.
And by the way, for the record, this lady was very professional and polite today. It was a very, it was a shock.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah,
I chose not to exercise my right, not out of anger towards her, but simply because the ATV said has already voted, and I in fact had not, so I was not going to sign.
Understood.
yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
coming in.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming in. All right, does anyone have any comments or anything that you want to speak to that with? I'd like to thank you, Elson, for coming in and speaking to us. We have soft spots in everything that we do, as you know, you've experienced, and we know that. And that's why we have a board that will consider what things happened in certain situations. I want to send out a message to everyone that I don't see anything unscrupulous here whatsoever, that this is one of those things that could be under the umbrella of, there are a lot of things that we don't know about how our elections take place. And sometimes we have situations that occur that are, an outgrowth of that. And that could have been that the person who voted, like you said, didn't really understand the ATV and what they were doing in terms of reading the information. I think we all have a little bit of that in us. And we make honest mistakes as a result. So I'm sorry that you got caught up in this. I really am. But I laud you're valuing your vote enough to come in here and talk to us. This is good feedback. We're not an activist body, but we certainly can pass, feedback along upstream. And it may result in something that works a little bit better. But thank you. I appreciate it. I'd like to, yes.
One question. Kelly, was there an effort to reach out to Mr. Myers' son to get a statement? Was that a possibility or? No. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, does anyone have anything else to say? All right, I'd like to ask for a motion to sustain the challenge in this case, because I don't see anything that, is at issue here beyond where we are right now. Is there a motion to sustain the challenge?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and
Is that
seconded
Rick?
to sustain the challenge. If there are no further discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. All right, the challenge is sustained. Thank you again, Mr. Myers. We appreciate it, you coming in.
I guess I should be up there, but, so what has just happened? That vote is canceled?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So the vote that was canceled on October 28th was canceled?
yes,
Got it.
yes. It's what we have to do.
No, absolutely, I understand. There's a
Yeah,
process.
yeah.
And-
I know it's kind of hard to understand, like if we sustain the challenge, what actually happens.
I understand.
Yeah.
And we can consider the matter closed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all for your job. Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming in.
All right. Kelly, do you want to move on to the next?
So the next challenge to be heard is in regards to Susan Clark Strauss. Already voted twice, by absentee by mail and on election day. So a challenge was entered on November 12th by Chairman Saunders after receiving notice from the State Board of Elections. Ms. Strauss mailed in an absentee ballot that was received by Dare County BOE on 11/4/2024. She also voted in person at the Nags Head precinct on 11/5/2024. Ms. Strauss emailed the Board of Elections with concerns about her ballot after she received a notification from ballot. Staff research comparison of the early voting and absentee executed ballots and later the voter eligibility audit data list provided by the North Carolina State Board of Elections determined that Ms. Strauss voted twice. Her absentee by mail ballot was received, approved, and scanned by the board on November 4th. Staff also determined that the chief judge of the Nags Head precinct did not mark the poll books with the provided absentee list, allowing Mrs. Strauss to vote on election day. Ms. Strauss was contacted by myself to explain the incident. Ms. Strauss stated that she did not intend to vote twice and that she asked a precinct official if it was okay and was told yes. Ms. Strauss also submitted an emailed statement defending her actions as an accident. A notice of absentee ballot challenge was mailed to Ms. Strauss on November 12th.
All right. Does anyone have any questions of Kelly on this? No. All right. Is there anyone present who would like to speak up and offer any evidence on this challenge? Thank you, Ms. Markland.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kelly, just for the record, the challenge would be directed at the absentee ballot, the ballot that she made, or the vote she made in the actual polling place would stand. This is only going to go to the early ballot.
That's correct. The ballot that was voted on election day is not retrievable, but the ballot that was cast and voted by absentee by mail is. So that would be the ballot that is being challenged.
Okay, so her vote on election day stands.
That is correct.
Anyone else have anything? No. Okay. I'd like to go ahead and, seeing that we don't have any other evidence to offer, no other questions, I'd like to go ahead and ask for a motion to approve or to sustain the challenge.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to sustain the challenge of the absentee ballot vote of Susan Clark Strauss. Is there any other discussion, any other questions? Okay, all those in favor of sustaining the challenge, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Okay, the challenge is sustained. The next challenge is related to the vote of Elizabeth Kyler Wells. Kelly, do you want to go ahead with that one?
So a challenge was entered on November 12th by Chairman Saunders after receiving notice from the State Board of Elections. Ms. Wells mailed in an absentee ballot that was received by the Dare County BOE on November 4th, 2024, and she also voted an in-person ballot at the Nags Head precinct on November 5th, 2024. Staff research comparison of the early voting and absentee executed ballots and later the voter eligibility audit data list provided by the North Carolina State Board of Elections and determined that Ms. Wells voted twice. Her absentee ballot by mail was received, approved, and scanned by the board on November 4th, 2024. Staff also determined that the chief judge of the Kitty Hawk precinct did not mark the poll books with the provided absentee list, allowing Ms. Wells to vote on Election Day. I attempted to contact Ms. Wells unsuccessfully to have her explain the incident. Notice of the absentee ballot challenge was mailed to Ms. Wells on November 12th.
All right, I have a question. You received no response from either the phone call or the notice?
No response.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of Ms. Wells? All right. Any other questions or anyone from? Okay.
Just again, for the record, this challenge will affect just the absentee ballot that she had voted and not the in-person vote that she cast on Election Day.
That is correct.
Yes. All right. So any other discussion or questions? So just to be clear, her vote is going to count. Her Election Day vote will count. Or
And-
the early voting vote will count, right? The early day?
The Election Day
The ele-
votes for both of these voters will count. The absentee ballot is what we are challenging. And also, just to be clear, we have evidence other than just what I've stated. We do have the reports, and we'll pull the ballots. We have the envelopes. So we have all the evidence. I just didn't go into detail, but there is evidence.
Based on your statement, Kelly, and the information that we previously heard when we were considering this, does sound like there was a staff error in both these cases, where the person voted twice and not the data at the polling station had not been updated, even though information had been provided to that station. Is that correct?
That's not entirely correct, no, sir. So one of the voters presented to vote on Election Day very early. And so it may have been that the chief judge at the Nags Head site wouldn't have time to mark the poll books anyway. I believe she voted before even, 7 a.m. So we have to also understand that once you know that you have submitted a ballot by mail, the responsibility falls on the voter to not cast a second ballot. And if you are unsure whether or not we received it, I believe that it falls on the voters as responsibility to figure out whether or not we have received your ballot before you present to vote in another manner or location. And so while that may be the case for Kitty Hawk, because the voter presented later in the day, there's still, I would say, most of the responsibility falling on the voter because they chose to cast a ballot by submitting it by mail and then not making sure whether or not that ballot had been received prior to presenting to vote in person. So in my opinion, they knowingly voted twice. So I would not call that an error because our staff error so much. I mean, there is responsibility for the chief judges to mark those poll books. And so the fact that they didn't do it was outside of their training, outside of their protocol, and they most certainly should have done that. And it would have prevented one of these. But, I think ultimately the responsibility falls on the voter to, make sure that you haven't cast a ballot before you make a decision to cast another ballot. And just for anyone listening, the system works very well, and it is designed to catch voters who have already voted prior to them submitting a ballot. But we have a meeting on Monday at, ballots are cast on Monday at 3 p.m. or 5 p.m., the last set of absentee ballots. And by then, the poll books have already been sent out to the precincts for setup for the next day. And that's why we send an absentee list at 6 a.m. in the morning. They are delivered by deputies so that the chief judge can mark the poll books with any voters who may not have been put in prior to that Monday, statutory required Monday absentee meeting. So there is always that very, very slight window. And that's where I feel, in my opinion, that the voter needs to exercise their responsibility.
I'd also like to interject here. Is it not true that an individual with this uncertainty with respect to having their mail-in ballot recorded, that they could request voting provisionally?
Absolutely.
And as opposed to with certainty casting, the election day vote. And in that manner, they can be assured that either one of those ballots will be counted, not both, but one.
You're correct.
Thank you.
Is there evidence that either of the two voters, I know we already settled one, but evidence that either of them used the ballot track system, which is recommended to voters to help track where your ballot is in the process?
So Ms. Strauss did use ballot tracks, which is what, that notification is what prompted her to contact BOE, but she did that after casting the second ballot in person. And she sent an email, which I've entered into evidence, stating her concern that she received this notification and she was unsure if the notification was for the ballot she submitted by mail or the one that she voted on election day. So she clearly realized she'd done two, and her concern was that she didn't want them to get canceled out or kicked out, not so much that she had used two different methods to vote. So while I do not think it was malicious, I think it was just accidental and more of her just wanting to ensure that her vote was cast. It was irresponsible, in my opinion. And also, ballot tracks is quite misleading. It is a state program, but it tracks the ballot activity within USPS, but not necessarily the activity once staff has received it and processed it. So once BOE has processed it. And so it unfortunately does not give the voter an accurate picture of receipt of a ballot or submission of a ballot or approval of a ballot. It's not the best system as far as giving the voters that complete information. And so it can be misleading.
Perhaps we should ask the state to post a caveat or an asterisk next to ballot track saying, do not rely on this.
I think that they are aware that it is a flawed system and they've received a lot of complaints. It's my understanding. Hopefully they will work to make that a better program.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, does anyone have any other comments or questions? All right, I'd like a motion to sustain the challenge on that ballot.
I
Ms.
move
Strauss.
to sustain the challenge to the ballot of Elizabeth Kuehler Wells.
I'll second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to sustain the challenge. of the ballot of Elizabeth Kyler Wells due to her status as already voted twice, and that the ballot be retrieved and deducted from the total votes recorded by the absentee by mail site. Again, this is not going to delete her one vote. She'll have a vote. It just won't be the other vote that was on the absentee ballot. All those in favor of sustaining the challenge, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, the ballot is sustained. Okay, the next challenge that the board has is with Donald Carlton Huck Sr., deceased. Kelly, would you like to elaborate on that, on the evidence, please?
So there was a challenge entered on November 12th by Chairman Saunders after receiving notice from the State Board of Elections. It was found that Mr. Hucks voted absentee by mail on October 29th, 2024, and passed away after voting on November 1st, 2024. In addition to the State Board's report that we received from the Department of Health and Human Services, a death certificate is on record at the Dare County Register of Deeds. Notice of the absentee ballot challenge was mailed to Mr. Hucks on November 12th.
All right, is there any comments or questions by the board? John, you-
Sorry to hear of his passing.
Yeah, this aspect I never knew we'd have to deal with, and I'm so sorry for her passing. And the way the state law is designed, the vote wouldn't count on election day if someone just passes away before the election. Is there anyone here representing Mr. Hucks? Okay. All right, then I'd like to have a motion to sustain the challenge according to to state law.
I move to sustain the challenge of the ballot of Donald Carlton Huck Sr. due to his death prior to November 5th, 2024 election, and that the ballot be retrieved and deducted from the total votes recorded for the Chocowinity early voting site.
It's the absentee by mail, sorry. Absentee by mail, sorry. It's the absentee by mail voting site.
Okay.
And that's also, that's Chickamaucomico, is that correct? Not
No,
Choctaw?
just absentee by mail.
Okay.
All right, I'll change that to absentee by mail then.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. All right, it's been moved and seconded to sustain the challenge of the ballot of Mr. Donald Carlton Huck Sr. due to his death prior to November 5th, Election Day, 2024, and that the ballot be retrieved and deducted from the total votes recorded for the absentee by mail ballots. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Okay, the challenge is sustained. The next challenge that we have is with Mary Christine Buckner, also deceased. Kelly, would you like to go ahead and give the evidence on that, please?
Challenge was entered on November 12th by Chairman Saunders after receiving notice from the State Board of Elections. It was found that Ms. Buckner voted absentee by mail October 29th and passed away after voting on November 2nd, 2024. In addition to the State Board report from the Department of Health and Human Services, a death certificate is on record at the Dare County Register of Deeds. Notice of absentee ballot challenge was mailed to Ms. Buckner on November 12th. And that is also the absentee by mail site for whoever enters the motion.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say, give her family our sympathies for her passing. Are there any other comments or questions by the board on this? Okay, is anyone representing Ms. Buckner here who'd like to give us any evidence of anything? We're sad to have to follow state law in these cases, but this is what we have to do. So I'd like a motion to sustain the challenge, please.
I move we sustain the challenge to the early vote for Mary Christine Buckner due to her passing prior to the election date.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded to sustain the challenge to the ballot of Mary Christine Strauss due to her death prior to the November 5th, 2024 election, and that the ballot be retrieved and deducted from the total votes recorded for the absentee by mail ballots. All those in favor of sustaining the challenge, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. All right, the challenge is sustained. All right, the next case we have is of Mr. Sean DeForest Moore, who was an active felon at the time he presented to register and vote in early voting. And Kelly, again, would you like to go ahead through the evidence on that, please?
A challenge was entered on November 5th by Chair Saunders on behalf of the board after receiving notice from the State Board of Elections. Mr. DeForest voted by submitting a same-day registration at the early voting Board of Elections site on Friday, October 18th, 2024. In addition to the State Board felon report and later the voter eligibility audit data list provided by the North Carolina State Board of Elections, information was found also on the Department of Adult Corrections Criminal Offenders Search. Mr. DeForest, it was determined, is an active felon serving probation. Notice of the absentee ballot challenge was mailed to Mr. Moore on November 6th.
All right. I just have one thing to say for clarification on this is that the state considers a felon active when they're under post-release supervision or what we would call probation. Fees, restitution, court fines, that kind of thing, if those are still unpaid, it doesn't affect their ability to vote. But when a person comes clear of state supervision, who's has been a felon, a lot of them don't know that they have to register to vote again, even if they were registered before they were convicted. So this is a little thing that they are notified by the probation officers and the courts, and they have to sign off on that, on the form that carries that information as well, explaining that they have to re-register to be able to vote and that they cannot vote until they have finished the post-release supervision. So this is how state law regards a person who's been convicted of a felony in relation to their ability to vote. Okay, so are there any other comments or questions by anyone on the board? No, or is there anyone here?
Just one question for the record. We've not received any response or statement from this gentleman.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Seeing that as it is, if no one has any further comments, I'd like to have a motion to sustain the challenge of Mr. Sean DeForest Moore, please.
I move to sustain the challenge to the ballot of Sean DeForest Moore due to his status as an active felon, and that the ballot be retrieved and deducted from the total votes recorded for the Board of Election early voting site.
Okay, is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to sustain the challenge to the ballot of Sean DeForest Moore due to his status as an active felon, and that the ballot be retrieved and deducted from the total votes recorded for the Board of Elections early voting site. I'd like to have a motion to sustain the challenge of Mr. Sean DeForest Moore, please. And
You have a motion.
yeah, we have,
Do
do we have a
and I
second?
second.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
I
sorry, I
second.
got confused there. All right, all those in favor of sustaining the challenge, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Okay, that challenge is sustained. The last case that we have today in our challenge hearings is one of Deshaun Rushon Spencer, also an active felon who voted. Kelly, would you give us the evidence on that, please?
So a challenge was entered on November 12th by Chair Saunders on behalf of the board after receiving notice from the State Board of Elections. Mr. Spencer voted at the early voting Board of Elections site on Friday, October 24th, 2024. In addition to the State Board felon report and later the voter eligibility audit data list provided by the North Carolina State Board of Elections, information was found on the Department of Adult Corrections Criminal Offender Search site that Mr. Spencer is an active felon serving probation. Notice of absentee ballot challenge was mailed to Mr. Moore on November 12th.
All right. Does anyone have any questions on this case? Or
I have a question for the record, Kelly, that we have not received a statement, written or oral, in response to the notice. Is that correct?
That's correct. No, we have not.
Thank you.
is there anyone in the room who wants to present any evidence on behalf of Mr. Spencer? Okay. All right. I'd like a motion to sustain the challenge of Mr. Deshaun Rushawn Spencer for having voted as an active felon.
I move to sustain the challenge to the ballot of Deshaun Rashawn Spencer due to his status as an active felon, and that the ballot be retrieved and deducted from the total votes recorded for the BOE early voting site.
All right, is there a second to that motion, please?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to sustain the challenge to the ballot of Deshaun Rashawn Spencer due to his status as an active felon, and that the ballot be retrieved and deducted from the total votes recorded for the Board of Elections early voting site. If there's no other discussions or questions, I'd like to go ahead with the vote. All those in favor of sustaining the challenge, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Okay, then the challenge is sustained. That is the end of our challenge hearings.
Mr. Chairman, if I just may ask for clarification, is it the board's decision that all of the ballots that were challenged and sustained be retrieved, deducted from the total votes, and recorded?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Now, we had one ballot that you were trying to cure or that we wanted to look at today. I think, was it one or two that were left over from our review yesterday?
So are we done with the challenges and we're moving forward with the
Yes.
canvas meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to need to sign the poll book on challenge and sustained on each one of those individuals at some point here.
Okay. So,
Just as a matter of record.
okay, yes. So we left the absentee supplemental and the provisional tabulators polls not closed because we had three, one absentee by mail and two provisional ballots that we were waiting to see if the voters were going to provide documentation to cure them so that they could be accepted. We did not receive anything from any of those three voters. So it is staff's recommendation that you would not approve the absentee by mail that we were waiting for an updated or unexpired driver's license. The voter submitted an expired license. It was expired more than a year. And then we had two provisionals. One, the voter stated that they would bring, they voted without a photo ID, and they stated that they were going to get a new one by the 12th and that they would bring that ID to the Board of Elections, and they did not by 5 p.m. yesterday, which was the deadline. And then finally, we had a voter who presented to vote, and she did not have the documentation that she needed to vote a same-day registration, so she voted provisionally. She is not registered, so she didn't have the proof of residency or the proper identification to vote a same-day registration during early voting. So she did vote provisional, but as it stands, she is not registered and she did not provide any documentation. So we would recommend that you not approve these two provisionals and one absentee by mail ballot.
All right. And just one thing to be clear to anyone who's watching or may not understand what the word cure means. In this case, it means that we have a period of time where we are trying to get information that would allow the voters' vote to count. And staff does an incredible job of chasing after that information and to give the voter every opportunity to either bring the information in or if convenient to send it in electronically and follow up with something else to prove that they're eligible to vote over a multitude of different requirements that are not that overwhelming, I don't think, but still can be confusing sometimes. So just want everybody to be clear about that this is part of an effort to carry on that mission to help people have their vote count. That's what we're trying to do. In this case, I think, does anyone have any comments or anything? I mean, I think that the evidence is clear here about not counting those ballots, the 2 provisionals and 1 absentee ballot. I'd like a motion to disapprove those ballots on the basis of the evidence that Kelly just presented. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to state that we have in previous meetings, the board has reviewed all 3 ballots.
Thank you, John.
And
Thank
we
you.
did agree that we would direct staff to attempt to contact the voters to
Yes.
cure. So it's not that because we're not.
I apologize. I think that it's probably a good idea for you to review the ballots.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we go back to reviewing the ballots once again.
Thanks, John.
Hey, Kelly, just for clarification for Sleepy Secretary, this moved into the canvas part of our meeting today, the consideration of these ballots. Okay, thank you.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah. Yep, 23, yeah. Remember that one?
That can go back that way.
Slide that back down to that.
Mailbox full.
Everybody's looked at that.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Nothing. This is the one off the grid.
Remember that one too.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Anybody?
And 3.
I bet she uses yes.
Mhm.
People don't think about that. Everybody always has real.
Mr. Chair, we need a motion.
What's that?
we need a motion.
All right, I'd like to have a motion to disapprove the 2 provisional ballots and the absentee by mail ballot based on evidence. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to disapprove the 2 provisional ballots and the 1 absentee ballot we just reviewed based on evidence. All those in favor of disapproving those 3 ballots, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Okay, the ballots are disapproved.
So at this time, since there are no more ballots to scan for absentee supplemental and provisional, I will close the polls.
Mhm.
The public count for the provisional stands at 41. And the public count for the absentee by mail supplemental stands at 105.
Mr. Chairman, before we leave at this point, I want to thank Kelly and the staff for the thorough research into all of the challenged ballots and voters, and particularly the format in which it was presented to the board this morning greatly facilitated our review of the work, and hopefully your long effort made quick work of what we had to do. But thank you very much.
Sorry for the typos.
Yeah, I echo the same. Thank you, Kelly.
I don't apologize for the typos in my minutes. That's-
So, Mr. Chairman, what will happen now is the board will sign the 0 and the results tapes, and you will complete a supplemental absentee abstract. And then at that time, if I may request a recess, staff has quite a bit of work to do to prepare voter history. Since we had to wait to close the polls till today, we need, excuse me, we need to retrieve the write-in information off of the ballots submitted supplementally and provisionally. We also will need time to deduct the votes from our current election tallies. We'll need time to pull and retrieve those ballots and print the poll books. And then once we are done configuring, we will have to do a new report with our updated voter history totals and our election totals and submit that to the state. So there's just a lot of staff work to do. It takes some time to finalize provisional history because we have to scan the applications, mark all of them approved or unapproved. There's 190 of those. They're all currently in pending status. So we're requesting a 2-hour recess in order for us to get all of our voter history together so that we can present to the board the final, our projection for final ballots and history for you to approve.
All right, and so you do want us to wait to sign the tapes
I would
before
say
we
you could
recess,
go ahead
right?
and do this portion and then recess.
Okay,
Yes. So let me get
that makes sense. And you're thinking a couple of hours?
Yes, sir. And so when we come, unless you want to wait for us to retrieve the ballots, there's also a tallying that has to be done. So maybe if you would wait, let us retrieve the ballots so that you can tally. And then we'll recess so that we can take all of this back
That makes sense.
to the office. Okay. So we need 3 copies of the supplemental abstract. And just so the board knows, I have put in a help ticket on whether or not we have to amend the absentee abstract because that is what several of these ballots came from the absentee by mail.
Mhm.
And that is a certified abstract that you completed from the tapes that is no longer accurate. So I'm not sure if you will need to do an edited one or if you can just mark the actual one. I'm waiting on guidance from that, but I do need 3 copies of the supplemental abstract, which is the same as you did when we did the absentee by mail
Mhm.
abstract. So if you'll give that to him, I'll get the tapes.
What do you think would stand legally on that issue? Do you think that we could edit the original one and then all sign on the edit and date it, like literally on it,
You know, the tape.
on the tape, for the absentee by mail abstract and the tapes, instead of running the whole thing again? I think that's what I understand to be the alternative. But she said, edit, I'm all about that, and we date it and we all sign it, if on the existing.
Do you have, do we have any citation
Any.
to that or
You mean in this
Small.
that or in the
number of memos?
memo?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think, otherwise she wouldn't have asked the help ticket. She wouldn't have sent.
Yeah.
And she hasn't gotten a response. Did you hear what I was saying?
Something
I was-
about
Yeah, let me just
marking up.
Yeah, let me just say this to everybody, since we're in a public meeting, I don't mean to be secretive or anything, but I was asking Randy if he thought it would stand up legally for us to edit the tape by dating it and all of us signing or initialing the change on the tape. Or what you were just explaining, to edit, isn't that what you meant, edit the tape?
Not on the tape.
But on the-
abstract.
On the abstract, okay.
Right. So we'll get guidance from the state on what we need to do.
But if we don't have the guidance, I mean, we need to do that today, right?
Right. But it won't be the tape that you edit, it'll be the.
The abstract that we did, yeah.
And then we'll run reports, Canvas reports that has the actual votes on it.
Okay.
Because that tape is date stamped, so.
So if we don't hear from the state and we have to take an
Then
action,
I would say let's do new abstracts that are certified and notarized.
Okay.
And that's what goes to the register of deeds, that's what goes to this.
rather than edit,
The tapes.
I mean,
all
or
that
the original abstract, edit the original
No,
abstract?
I would say no, we'll just do new ones with the new dates.
Okay, all right, that was
That'll
my
be the
question.
official.
That was my question, yes. Thank you, Kelly. Just want to do what's right.
So you've already signed the 0, so it's just the results portion.
Okay, thank
And
you.
that's the very fast.
Kelly? What I hope is a quick question. The state had provided, I think yesterday, a form for reporting the challenges. We had discussed filling those out sometime later today. Is that sufficient for the state if we,
I think that we should do that during the recess.
okay,
If we can print those, if you would work on that, you and Skip could work on that.
Yeah.
while we're doing the recess.
okay. Need to get it to a computer because it's,
What's that?
I think it's, if I remember the form, you can type part of it in right on the form. So I'd have to go back and pull it up.
Because I could print whatever you needed.
Might be easier to do, to print it.
Well, you want to handwrite?
I mean, I will. Were those PDFs or were they?
I thought they were a PDF that you could,
I can convert them.
You
Yeah,
can? So we could do it,
Sure I can.
okay.
let me take a look.
Then that's what we would need, if you'll just
There we-
convert those. Thank you. And what we're talking about is, the state communicated with us after business hours last night with a form. It's a legal document looking form that goes right down the list of things that are important about each one of the challenge cases that we reviewed, so that in an effort to have everything that they need to substantiate the challenges and have it all come into the State Board of Elections in a uniform manner. That's the way I interpreted that. And we look at that as a very good thing. So what we were talking about is Randy and I doing that work to fill those forms out in regards to each one of these challenges that we just did. We'll put the information on the form for the state board, and then we'll have a template. It's a template, and then we can send in that information to them. So they'll have that information in a uniform way as challenges are like this purportedly are going on across the state. And so they want the information to come in the same form, so it's clearer for them to access the information should they need to. So that's what this discussion was about. Thank you. This is a different one.
It's different.
Provisional. This is the provisional tape.
So they need those back.
She wants to sign these now? There's nothing
Someone
on
wants to
it.
supplemental?
Here you go.
Or
Here's the
these
other one.
These are the new ones that we have to fill out.
Yeah.
This must be
You
copies.
gave them to,
You already have,
I'm not sure what,
do you already have the abstracts?
Yes.
Okay. So there's the,
So we need to go back through this and repeat this process, right?
well, you have to do it for the supplemental
Right,
regardless.
right.
And that's the question for the challenge, for the ones that are absentee. Do you have to redo them? But this has to be done regardless.
Right.
In triplicate.
Okay, so are we,
You're doing this in triplicate just for that supplemental.
all right, but this doesn't include the subtraction of the,
No,
absentee ballot.
nothing has, this has nothing to
This
do
is-
with the challenges.
okay, this is straight ahead.
This is Canvas.
Yeah, this
work.
is straight
We
ahead.
would have done it yesterday had we not had to wait.
Right, right,
That's
okay,
housekeeping.
all righty. Do y'all want to take a shot at one?
I believe that had to do with the
We gotta call
the
these
three
out.
that were held out for cure.
Yeah.
That's
We're
the
doing-
reason that
I
we're,
think we
Yes.
can
we waited
call. We
until
have to
today.
do
Right,
all
right.
quiet.
But this is regular.
because we had to close that poll.
Yeah, give me some sign language.
This is regular canvas.
So what
Yes.
we got?
This is regular canvas.
Write down those lists, right?
Okay.
And then,
All right, so here's the tape.
Okay.
Y'all know what to do, right?
Yeah, yep. That's zero.
So those tabulators for the absentee and provisional are officially closed at this point in time, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And now, we will enter these results into the results with, election day, absentee by mail and early voting. These results will be added to those.
That's the
results.
first
so we're doing.
one. There is so tiny. 56. Nobody else. Oh, 48. Yeah, and then. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, here's the next one. 29. Okay, that's it. Okay.
Right here.
40.
And it's time.
57. Turner, 2. 53. Gray.
Thanks.
they working on this one
Yes.
down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Agriculture.
Yeah, I was just looking at it here. And I'm trying to sift out what we have to insert right in, on the number, and then which things we can attach. So, and I would like to use her iteration of the evidence.
Yeah, no, I think.
So, if we don't have to insert it, we can attach it and make reference to it, from this. So I was getting ready to kind of make a shopping list here of which ones we need to.
This is more housekeeping, just poll books for you guys to sign the back pages. There's two, one from yesterday and one from today.
Okay.
So Rebecca,
Like
this
the difference here.
needs to be changed. And this-
Basically, what I'm seeing is anything that
These
says
two need to
insert
be
list
changed
of
to
documents,
not approved.
we can make reference to them as in a batch, describe relevant
Marked them on the
factual
board.
information in the county board's documents for the evidence, and then
The idea of.
again, we could do a reference to this.
As an attachment.
As an attachment. Insert the list of election officials and county board staff who provided information orally to the board. So we could pull that out of the minutes and just put the list of the names. And then describe relevant factual information in the
I know.
testimony.
The next one, House 19.
Because I'm coming.
The only
in.
thing that
That's good.
would be relevant there would be
What I was thinking when you said that, Steve House.
Oh, gosh, no.
He said-
Wrong one.
Right.
19 and then 20.
Yeah, they're the only two. So-
They're the only
The next
people who
house. District
So
49.
we have to get that information into it
Give you all-
in the testimony.
Mr. Chairman, if I may be excused to retrieve the ballots that were sustained in the challenge?
Sure. And we're not ready to recess yet, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. So we'll hold on here. Please.
That's election day.
Yeah.
Absentee.
Just lost my spot. Okay, there it is.
So that's from
Commissioner 59.
that tabulator for the absentee on election day.
District 2.
And then this is the supplement.
The District 3, 45.
I'm gonna correct that right there, make that clear.
48.
This is also the early voting poll book. It's a lot of pages. So I'll just pass the back page around unless you want to look at it.
District 4.
I think it's best.
That's the back.
Read it, and then I have to read it.
District 1 or
District 1, 59. Education at large, 47. Ooh, 47.
I think for the sake of
Uh,
anyone viewing
Education, District 1,
this
52.
meeting,
District 2,
just taking this in.
44.
I'll go ahead and bring you guys the tape.
When you get a chance, you guys sign this. This is for Kelly. She said it's housekeeping of the
Okay.
whole book.
Okay.
Okay. Real basic.
43, okay, then 49. District 4, 45. Ooh, another tie. 45.
Kelly, when you get back to the office, can you email this
What's that?
ordinance
Okay.
material that you prepared?
471.
I'll fix all the
typos
typos and send you it.
Don't worry about that. No, I was saying we can cut and paste in that along,
Okay.
or use this as an attachment. I just
Okay.
wanted to have it.
Because there's some
No, it's fine.
evidence, there's not detail in there. I don't know if there's things you want to add, but that's up to you.
Well, I thought it was a very good summary of
Okay.
the evidence as we have been considering going along.
Yeah.
I think you
I had a
kind of
couple
watched it as
questions
I wrote them.
Yeah.
Record.
Yeah, I did.
That was
I
it.
think we got them all. We were all in
I
sync.
hope I put it in the right place.
No, we were in sync on there.
When you had a chance, email it to me.
Sign it back, I think.
Get this other part done.
And then this goes.
No signature page.
That was a quick read.
Hey, the speed reading course paid off.
It certainly did. They'll make you sound on time. It's not bad. Just don't sound very complex.
Yes, I know. That's the big man.
Yeah. Boss man.
Okay, you need to sign those.
Not bad.
This gives all the names,
Absentee.
all the names of folks.
Yeah.
You've got to read this attachment we already have.
Did Tolstoy have anything to do with this?
He edited it.
For brevity.
I did that one. This one it looks.
Well,
Oh, which one is this one? Poll book. Absentee. What's the difference? Yesterday. That was yesterday.
There are two different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this.
And this was the fourth, probably.
Does it give the count? There to count tally on there? Oh, yeah, right there.
Oh, okay.
That
One
should
of
be
five.
41.
Yeah, no,
That is a little more.
this is
Oh,
the
that's the
big
big
one.
one, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
All right. This is right now.
yeah.
Here's another one to sign.
Okay.
Make sure you read it, okay?
Yeah, yeah, sure. 18,
We
this is
all
the
wrote it up
biggie.
here.
18. Oh, here. There's that.
Absentee.
I'm not looking over that one.
Oh, come on.
I just saw the tally.
Yeah. So there, this is it's alphabetical.
Is it?
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God.
Is that
Oh, there you
early?
are. No.
That's early voting, right? That was it?
Yeah.
Or early, yeah. I did vote early, so we should be in there.
All right, these are all signed, ready to go. Except for them, they gotta sign. That one,
Thank you.
this one's all signed, we know this one's all signed.
I'll do this next to you. I'm gonna duplicate this
Okay.
onto these other two because we have to give her triplicates.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Rick, you'll be the bipartisan guy if you would. Okay. you want to read these to me? It might be faster.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'll make a mistake going across, so I'm down to the one after.
Yeah.
So
Let's get down.
Stein.
57.
57. Okay, I'll repeat what you say.
Turner, 2.
2,
Hunt, 53.
Hunt, 53.
Skip, Weatherman is 45.
Just, it goes to, skip one and go to Weatherman,
Uh-huh.
45?
Yep.
Okay.
Bray, 4.
4,
Jackson, 57.
57, Jackson.
Bishop, 43.
Bishop, 43. All right, hold on. Get rid of this. All right,
Doc, I guess it is 6.
6, Drock. Holmes,
50.
50.
50.
Okay.
Bullock, 41.
Bullock, 41.
Sean Hall, I guess it is 5.
5 for Haw.
Tabor, probably 51.
Tabor, 51.
Troxler, 41.
Troxler, 41.
Marcus, 54.
Marcus, 54.
Causey, 44.
Causey, 44.
Farley, 44.
Farley, 44.
Winston, 52.
Winston, 52.
Marshall, 53.
Marshall, 53.
Brown, 44.
Brown, 44.
Green, 52.
Green, 52.
Morrow, 43.
Morrow, 43.
Harris, 53.
Harris, 53.
Briner, 42.
Briner, is that it? 42? Okay.
Griffin, 42.
Griffin, 42.
Riggs, 54.
Riggs, 54.
Murray, 44.
Murray, 44.
Thompson, 51.
Thompson, 51.
Eldred, 49.
Eldred, 49.
Zachary, 46.
Zachary, 46. Okay.
Freeman, 44.
Freeman, 44.
Moore, 50.
Moore, 50.
Hennick, 44.
Hennig, 44.
Harmon Scott, 52.
Harmon Scott, 50, 52.
Goodwin, 19.
Goodwin, 19.
Salwin, 21.
Salwin, 21.
Kidwell, 21.
Kidwell, 21.
Beadley, 34.
Beadle,
Beadle,
what did you say? How many?
34.
34?
Yeah.
Got it.
Barnes, 60.
Barnes, 60.
Let's see, Malarney,
Malarney,
61.
61.
Creef, 59.
Creef, 59.
Morgan, 50.
Morgan, 50.
Woodard, 44.
Woodard, 44.
House, 45.
House, 45.
Zinger, 48.
Zanger, 48.
Havel, 48.
Havel, 48.
Balance, 45.
Balance, 45.
Burris, 59.
Burris, 59.
Twitty, 47.
Twitty, 47.
Zener, 47.
Zaner, 46. 47, two 47s, okay.
Bateman, 58.
Bateman, 58.
Lloyd, 43.
Lloyd, 43.
Carey, 49.
Carey, 49.
Euler, 45.
Euler, 45.
45.
45.
Bright, 45.
Bright, 45.
Constitutional Amendment, 4, 71.
4, 71.
Against 20.
Against 20. Okay, so that's one copy. And we need to sign these too, but we'll get to that. I'm going to leave that on top. Did you already sign?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, I'll just go ahead and sign them. You want to sign that?
I'll just take a second.
All right, so here's another. So leave that on top because I'm going to pass that to those guys.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to read off of that one again?
Yeah.
Because I'll do this one too. I'm going to do this.
All right. So
Or do you want to go back? Which one was your original? Is this the one you did? This is the one you originally did. Read off of this one.
all right.
And I'll use that one as the foundation for. All right. If you guys can sign this, the last page. We just duplicated that. This. Okay.
Harris, 56.
Harris, 56.
Trump, 48.
Trump, 48.
Murphy, 51.
Murphy, 51.
Cormos, 29.
Cormos, 29.
Yeah, 29.
Okay.
Robinson, 40.
Robinson, 40.
Ross, 2.
Ross, 2.
Stein, 57.
Stein, 57.
Turner, 2.
Turner, 2.
Hunt, 53.
Hunt, 53.
Weatherman, 45.
Weatherman, 45.
Bray, 4.
Bray, 4.
Jackson, 57.
Jackson, 57.
Bishop, 43.
Bishop, 43. Okay.
Drock, 6.
Drock, 6.
Holmes, 50.
Holmes, 50.
Bolick, 41.
Bullock, 41.
Hall, 5.
Haw, 5.
Tauber, 51.
Tauber, 51.
Troxler, 41.
Troxler, 41.
Marcus, 54.
Marcus, 54.
Causey, 44.
Causey, 44.
Farley, 44.
Farley, 44.
Winston, 52.
Winston, 52.
So the soil and water
Marshall,
writing is not a candidate.
53.
Marshall, 53.
Brown, 44.
Brown, 44.
Green, 52.
Green,
That's what I
52.
Morrow, 43.
Morrow, 43.
Harris, 53.
Harris, 53.
Briner, 42.
Briner, 42.
Griffin, 42.
Well,
Griffin, 42.
as
Riggs,
soon as we get done
54.
with
Riggs,
the
54.
abstracts, then we go into
Murray,
recess for 2
44.
hours.
Murray,
And then we'll
44.
resume.
Thompson, 51.
Thompson, 51.
Eldred,
But-
51. Oh, excuse me.
When we go
Eldred,
into
49.
recess,
Eldred,
obviously,
49.
there's nothing that's
Zachary,
going to be going on
46.
outside,
Zachary,
out here.
46.
all back there.
Zachary Wright.
All right.
Freeman, 45.
Freeman, 45.
Moore, 50.
Moore, 50.
Hennig, 44.
Hennig, 44.
Harmon Scott, 52.
52. Harmon Scott.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Goodwin, 19.
Goodwin, 19.
Sawin, 21.
Solon, 21.
Kidwell, 21.
Kidwell, 21 again. Okay.
Beadle, 34.
Beadle, 34.
Barnes, 60.
Barnes, 60.
Malarney, 61.
Malarney, 61.
Creef, 59.
Creef, 59.
Morgan, 50.
50. Morgan.
Woodard, 44.
Woodard, 44.
House, 45.
House, 45.
Zanger, 48.
Zanger, 48.
Havel, 48.
Habel, 48.
Balance, 45.
Balance, 45.
Burris, 59.
Burris, 59.
Twitty, 47.
Twitty, 47.
47.
Okay.
Zahner, 47.
Zahner, 47.
Bateman, 58.
Bateman, 58.
Lloyd, 43.
Lloyd, 43.
Carey, 49.
Carey, 49.
Euler, 45.
Bueller at 45,
Bright, 45.
Bright, 45,
And constitutional amendment 4
Four.
is 71,
71,
against 20.
20. Okay.
And we got to do this again. Is that right? Did she say triplicate?
Well, we've already done,
Okay.
you did one and then I
Okay.
did two with you.
All right. Good.
There you go. I'll put this, I'll let this rod along with it. There you go. Okay, here's another one for y'all to sign.
We need to double check here. We need to double check what you recorded.
You always need to double check.
Okay.
Okay. We need more signatures on
Yeah.
those. And these are done.
Okay,
Really done. Well
Yeah.
done.
Here's,
well done.
Well done.
let me have them back when y'all are finished and I'll go ahead and put the tape with it.
That's what I was wondering. Does he want all these too? Switch these around so you can see it. Two, three, four, five. You want me to switch those back or you want them like that?
Yeah. Poll book of absentee ballots, and those are provisionals? Is that what that is? Poll book for provisional?
Absentee.
Absentee, okay, that's what this is too. All right. Thank you. All right.
We're still waiting for Kelly before we do the official.
Yeah.
read.
Yeah.
Still battling that cough. or-
Hmm?
Still battling the cough.
I know, I'm still on antibiotics. Yeah. Yeah, I coughed so hard the other night. I threw up all my dinner. It's horrible. That's why I always linger. It's just the tickle.
Skip, I think it'd be easier if I go back to my computer and take, she can send this material, email, and I've got one. Okay. From there,
I'm fine with however you want to do it.
I hate having to, I can't work off a keyboard like that.
Oh, no, yeah, I
I
know.
need a real keyboard for clumsy and designed for
No,
clumsy
man,
people.
whatever
Those
works.
keys are that big around.
It's hard to committee something like this.
Well, what I
You
was
know.
thinking is a lot of the information I can cut and paste and just write right in.
Right.
Form, so.
He works better in his pajamas too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home and change.
I feel like I should get on my phone. Everybody's on their phone.
I know.
So if you would write the,
Did you get a good accounting of the testimony? That's the only kind of nebulous thing that I see.
I think so.
Okay.
That was the only thing I could see that would be
Mr. Carter,
a little
Yes.
sketchy.
so these are tally sheets, if you would, is that a B2 ballot? Is that a B2 ballot?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So I don't know, that's the best I can do for a tally sheet, so
Okay,
just use it and
That's fine.
and this is the retrieved ballot, is that correct?
that's correct.
Is it your desire that, what?
I mean, I don't know what else to do other than to just mark a number one in each candidate line.
Okay,
So I keep the tally, yeah, so if you want to pass that one down, there's many, so.
okay, I can pass it down.
You just want us to record the one ballot that is attached on this ballot sheet.
So we do it for each. This is also a B2. I'm going to pass this down.
And I think it might be good for the board to sign these in the back. I guess I can notarize them.
Your tally sheet, sign in back. Yeah,
I
I
would
see.
think,
Okay.
at least, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Just mark out where it says chief judge and judge, or I can later.
Okay, so
B2.
you need the number from here, one,
Yeah,
under machine tool.
no, just put it, and yes, right. So you can omit the over and unders, we're just, unless there is one. If there's an over and under, you want to
Okay.
record that as well.
Pass that one down. All right.
So there's 3 out right now, right? Or is there
Yeah,
4?
I'm doing that. So we got 3, you got one?
I have one.
Absentee
I have
by
one.
mail, Kitty
3.
Hawk.
We have 3 out right now.
Okay, we need another one.
Jeez.
What do we do? Look at this and mark this?
So we're transferring these numbers,
Yes,
Oh.
these votes onto here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. that's
Correct.
fine.
Oh, just one?
One.
But because that's all that's on the ballot.
Yeah.
right?
So this gets transposed onto this.
Just put a number one, like if they.
Okay.
voted for
Next to the candidate.
Okay,
And if there's an over or an under, you can mark that as well.
okay. Harris.
Okay.
Harris.
Total machine.
this is a
And the
B2.
next thing is Governor Stein. Skip everything.
One more. Go down there.
All right.
Then
I think
That's some of
that does not have one.
Or is
Yeah.
everyone getting one? We're all getting,
Well, that's the most, right now, that's the most efficient way just to distribute the workload.
yeah, they've,
auditor.
so
Table.
here's another one.
Marcus Insurance.
So everybody has a ballot at this point in time?
Yeah, they've got 2
Okay.
down there. I've got one. He's got
I
one.
have one.
Winston.
You have, you're getting one.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua.
This is a B1.
Harris Treasurer. Riggs. Thompson.
Wait a
Eldred.
minute. Oh, she's got a hyphenated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eldred.
Okay, so an undervote would be if
Oh,
it
yeah,
did
James
not
Thompson.
vote for
Okay.
any one of the candidates.
Court of Appeals. Moore.
In that contest.
Okay.
Senate District 1. Harmon Scott. House District 1. Sullivan.
So we are recording undervotes and
Nothing
overvotes,
until you
right?
get to
Yes,
Board of
everything
Commissioners
has to
District
be.
2.
Okay.
And it's Katie Morgan. District 3, Zed. to say that.
Close enough.
Hobble, then skip District 1, go to Education at Large, Sainer. Then skip down to District 4, Education, Euler, and then amend against.
We don't have any over or under, so we're good.
No, unders.
I guess she's gonna use this in lieu of, I don't know.
Yeah.
So she didn't have the dash for that. I didn't know whether.
I just put it in.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So the undervote is beside the write-in for each contest.
Oh,
And the
so
under-
if they didn't vote for,
So if they didn't vote for the president,
that's an undervote?
there's an over and an under here, so you would put a 1 in
Okay.
the under
Okay.
there, and there's a line in each contest.
District 3, House of Representatives, right under it.
Does anybody have an over or an under? You
We
one?
have, we have
Yeah.
where they didn't vote at all,
Okay,
so
so
that's an under, right?
I was gonna mark it over here.
now you have a line for it, right here,
Oh, yeah,
beside each contest.
Oh,
If you-
down there.
Okay.
Yeah,
so this one would be an under, because there was no,
Well,
is that right?
which
They
one?
didn't.
except
Yes,
this one is not formatted like that.
well, because it doesn't have a write-in. There's either a
Oh, it's
write-in,
only if
and
there's
oh,
a.
no,
Oh, okay,
there's a write-in and an over and an under,
Okay.
or there's an over and an under.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So,
But this one, so it'd be out here, right? Not down there.
yeah,
Well-
it's District 3.
Or is that for the tally
Or
for
is
that
it
whole
this
section?
and this?
It's just a little,
Oh, yeah, draw a line there.
see that?
Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
you got a line right there, so just copy it.
Okay. So,
So under for District 3. And then. That's good. Okay, then we go to District Court Judge.
We're gonna have a lot of them right here.
Barnes,
Go.
Barnes, there's an under where Barnes is. There's an under where Davis or Moore. An under for Grief. Let's get down to Commissioner District 1, Burris.
wait a minute, it ought to be up here.
Commissioner, oh, maybe it's on the other page.
There's Burr, there's Burr.
Okay, good, under.
Okay.
Okay, Board of Education, District 1, where Bateman is. One underneath it, District 2, where it's Lloyd and Carey, there's an under. Then the write-in for the soil.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, okay, and that's it.
I was gonna ask her, did she want us to sign?
Do we sign these, do you know, Skip?
I
Do we all sign these?
I
It doesn't
don't
have
know.
a, there's some
Right
signing.
now, she's got that format on there, and that's,
Yeah, I would just wait. Let's wait till she gets here. Just hold it.
Goes with that. Mm.
thank you.
UT. Okay. President Trump. District 3 House Murphy. Then for governor, it's an undervote. Lieutenant governor, undervote. Auditor, undervote. Agriculture, undervote. Insurance, undervote. Labor, undervote. Secretary of State, under. Public construction, under. Everything else is under, literally.
You just want to.
Let me go through treasurer,
That's,
under. Yeah.
I'll just look.
Okay,
Like that.
treasurer, then Supreme Court.
C6.
Uh-huh, then
C12.
C12, 14,
15.
District
1.
1, 1, District 1, C4,
Judge.
5. Grief under, Commissioner District 2, under, Commissioner District 2, District 3, District 4,
District 1, Commissioner.
District 1, where Burris is
Yeah.
under,
And then
Board of Education, at large, District 1, District 2, District 4, the write-in, and the amendment. All under vote. They were only concerned with 3.
If we don't sign there, she'll probably have
Yeah.
to sign down.
Yeah.
Just what
Here's
I'm-
your paper clip again.
Dustin Bateman under. 2 undervote. Undervote.
Balance cast. She's gonna use for that.
Anybody want to do another one?
We can
Pass that down.
volunteer you.
I know.
All righty. All right. Trump?
We should sign here versus Judge.
I don't know. She didn't say. I mean, I would think that she would, but I want to wait
It's
till.
pretty thin keep.
Because we can do that quickly.
Murphy,
I'm just holding it until she gets back.
Weatherman, Bishop, Oliak,
Don, are there any others?
Mm.
Oxler,
Okay.
Causey, Farley, Brown,
You know,
Mora,
they didn't provide a space for
I know.
under or over
Griffin,
in the House of Representative
Free,
race, but I did record it in under.
Yeah, I just drew a line.
Okay, all right.
Arms, Arnie,
I inserted my own line. Under my PowerPoint.
We're getting pretty good at that.
I know.
Period.
Woodard, House, Balance, Twitty, Bateman, Lloyd, Bright, and then undervote on the write-in, and 4.
They did theirs separate. Each guy did one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's easier the way we do it.
Yeah, I did it.
Could you go and straighten that picture in the back?
I know, I
Tired of
noticed
looking
that too. But you know what? They're all crooked. Yeah, look at them, all of them. It's like we had an earthquake or something.
Mhm.
I noticed that too, especially that one.
Drive you crazy.
I follow this old guy. Look at him.
Are y'all finished
He's
tallying?
15.
Really?
Did you want these
Same.
forms signed in any
My
way,
thoughts
shape, or
bigger.
form?
She didn't tell me, so.
I love how
hold
Yeah,
it
so
to
we're on
her.
hold for that till we hear.
Okay. The other thing is on the House race, the U.S. Representative House race,
Mhm.
there was no space for undervote, but I wrote in undervote.
Yeah, that's what we did. We did the same thing.
Just want to make sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we did the same
We
thing,
drew a
John.
line in there, John.
You all
Kel-
asked her about that.
Kelly
literally,
told us
didn't you?
to. Yeah, Kelly told
Yeah.
us to.
Okay.
Okay, so let me grab all of these, and you want me to ask her if you need to,
Sign, because the
Sign.
format's not, it's for chief judge on that last page.
be right back?
You know how literal we are.
We need to do.
Yes, we do.
One moment. if each of you will sign each one of these.
Okay.
I just noticed on those down there, some are hung higher than the others too.
You wouldn't think it'd be that way in a room full of room like that.
I know. Yep, here you go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And if you'd like to dismiss for a 2-hour recess
Okay.
now.
What did you say about recess?
Now's a good time for your 2-hour recess if you're ready.
All right, in 2 hours?
2 hours.
Okay,
So 3:00, correct?
yes.
Okay.
All right, so I declare the board recessed until 3:00. We'll all be back to finish our canvas. Oh, boy. Randy, is there anything you need from me?
Right now, I'm gonna
Okay.
go back to my house, hopefully everything is
Okay.
sent.
All right. Well, let me know because I'll be around in the neighborhood if you need me, okay? Be in touch with my daughter. She's trying to reach me about something. What, Kathy? We'll be back at 3. Let me go. I can't hear what she's saying.
Oh, we were signing the correction to the, for the,
She put the ballots that were pulled.
Yes,
yeah,
Okay.
and then,
7 ballots and what was transcribed,
Yeah,
the votes that were cast onto the ballot abstract. So each vote was cast in a race, we put 01 next to the candidate that received that vote.
And we did over and under votes, as, you know, where indicated.
Sorry.
John, thanks.
Just compelled to run my mouth.
What's that?
Yes.
Screening the rest of the campus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll be live.
Can we all watch from home too?
Oh, there's a concept.
Remote work in your pajamas. Pajamas, that's why.
Yeah, right. Lord have mercy. Yeah.
2 hours. I guess it's you guys, because we don't have a video person.
Yeah. Somebody needs to call Chris.
Are you gonna go tell her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem with leaving our junk here?
Leaving stuff? I don't think so. I can find King Court in here or something, you know.
I thought they finished yesterday. Or maybe not, maybe they had a carrot. I'll tell you, it was so exciting last night. I stayed up late listening to rain. I haven't heard it for a month. I like the sound of rain. Hear my plants going. See you in a couple hours.
Yes, sir. Thanks. Did you, talk to, let's see, I talked to Sharon about Sunday or next weekend, and she said either one's fine, or.
Sunday would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, it was just, I didn't remember that we had theater tickets for Saturday night when you first.
Are you going to the Kitty Hawk Theater, there?
Theater there.
Yeah, Theater there. Yeah, one of my former students is, she and her brother are running it, I think, this show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Kyla Horak is her name.
Uh-huh.
Really
Okay.
sweet girl and really talented. She was in high school and took a couple of my classes and did really well. She was remarkable, you know, as a student.
We have been,
I'm talking about teaching her carpentry, and she was really good.
well, somebody's got to
The
go to the sets.
The girls, the thing about the girls is they listen. I mean, it's such a big difference, and so I learned that very quickly in those classes, because I put out word to the student body that I wanted girls in my classes, and so I started getting them, and by promoting it, and she was one of them, and she was, what I found right away is that I would tell the boys, here's what's about to happen. You just learned how to build this.
We'll see you in a minute, Rick.
All right, and the girls are gonna embarrass you, because they're gonna go out there and walk the dog on this project. And what every one of you is gonna do is not listen to me in here in the classroom. And then when we go out in the shop or go outside to build it, you're gonna trash the project first, then come and ask me questions.
Yeah, right.
And they were all,
That's learning how to fix it.
yeah, exactly. And that's what would happen. It would literally happen, you know, and once I started saying that, the boys started tightening up a little bit. It was really hilarious watching.
That would have been fun. No, we started, going to theater up there when we first moved here. Because we love seeing our neighbors just like put themselves out in public, you know, to act.
Yeah,
And it's gotten better and better.
yeah,
I mean, the quality of acting, the choice of plays
yeah.
has just improved.
There are more people here, you know, people, some have had experience